Hi, and welcome to Kavita TV, where extraordinary women find extraordinary love. And I'm so happy to have a special guest here today, Rikka. Welcome. And we will be coaching her live today. And you're going to be just experiencing this live with us as we're going along. I just know what her question is and a little bit about her background, but you're going to learn a lot from her revealing her story and through what I say as her next steps and connecting dots for her life. So welcome, Rikka. Tell me your question.
Thank you, Kavita, for having me here.
Yeah.
I found you on the internet last month. I had a major heartbreak. I was in love with this guy, and I found out that he was married.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. At least I think I had no idea. He was busy a lot of times, but I wanted to be understanding, and I trusted him, and I just found out that he was actually not available.
Yeah.
And now I look back my relationships, past relationships, I feel like I was always in a relationship. Actually, the guy was not actually available to me.
Mm-hmm.
A relationship before, we were together for 2 years, and we talked about marriage. We met each other's parents, and it felt like it was very close. But right before it actually, the commitment was about to happen, he kind of changed his mind. At least that's how it looked like.
Yeah.
But maybe he was never a marriage type of guy, which I might have not noticed.
Yeah.
So my question today is that how come I keep meeting this type of guys that actually not emotionally available to me?
Yeah. So this is such a great question. I can feel kind of the heartbreak that you've experienced. I can feel that. And I've been there myself, as so many other women watching this have too. And I can feel for you that the first breakup was you were engaged and then he backed out. Did you guys ever have a conversation at the end of that of why he did that? Did he say why?
I made my intellectual choice.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him. Maybe I was not super in love with him, but I loved him for who he is.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, he was a lot older than me, 13 years older. Now I am 40 years old, so he's 53. So we dated when I was 38 to 40. He was 51 and 53. By the time he turned 53, he decided it's too late for him. And I guess he didn't see any reasons why he should be married.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So what is your perception of your parents' relationship?
Respectful. They are still together. Respectful and functional, I would say. Yes.
And one of the themes that I'm seeing for you in terms of what you're experiencing in your love life, so that was one experience, and then the second one was dating this man that you didn't know was married because his wife was overseas, right?
That's correct.
And noticing while you were discussing both of these things is that you believe a lot you believe in understanding men, like being understanding. And also, it sounds like the second experience you were really into the man, but that you're letting them lead.
True.
In the experience. And then sometimes you're just following. Not that you're meaning to do that. It's just natural to some degree for you. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll connect that for you in just a moment. So tell me a little bit about your perception of your parents' relationship.
My parents are still together, and they have a respectful, functional relationship. My father is more like a decision maker, like a leader of the family.
Yeah.
So he makes decisions, right, or sometimes maybe not so right, but me, all the children, and of course my mother, we follow him. Yes.
Okay, got it. And do you, when you were younger, did you like that your mom would just follow him in his decisions, or was that hard for you to watch?
When I was younger, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Because there was not, there was no arguments in the house. So I guess as a child it was easier. But as I grew up, I felt like I just didn't want to be that way. I wanted to have my own opinions and voice more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So what I'm noticing is for you in those two relationships that you're speaking of, there's just a lot for you around just understanding and following their lead, right? And where that's coming from is, you know, seeing your mom and dad in that same scenario where your mom just followed your dad's lead. And it was probably something that you didn't like about your mom.
Right.
Like you said, later on as you were growing up. And because what you resist, this is something that I want you to understand, when we resist something in our parents' relationship or in them, it persists in our own life. So without knowing it often, we start to replicate that same kind of pattern or that same way that they are. Or we go totally to the other end of the spectrum and we're just trying to be so not like them, and we're so stuck to the way that we want to be, you know what I mean? So one of the two things happens, but for you, the way it works is that what you resisted is actually being replicated in your life, right? And so there's just this kind of, I'll be understanding and go along with whatever they want that's coming up for you often. Do you see that?
I do see it.
Okay. Is that new for you? Have you seen that before? I mean, did you recognize that pattern before or no?
It looked like my boyfriend, of course, my boyfriends sometimes described me as difficult. So maybe I was not always understanding, but in a bigger picture, I think that's my character. I think.
Yeah. And yeah, I am. That's a great point that you're making. I'm talking kind of overall. Yeah. And so for you, how do we shift that, right? Because it's getting replicated. And what's happening is that the more that the boyfriend said to you that you're difficult, the more understanding you would become.
That's true.
You know? So it was just like the self-fulfilling prophecy that was kind of happening already. Does that make sense?
It makes sense because... That's not fair.
Yeah, so essentially, what? I know it's kind of
true,
surprising,
though.
but
yes.
Yeah, you're connecting the dots.
Yes.
Right?
No.
Yeah. So what do you do about that, right? Like, how do you start to break that pattern? Because what that's doing is attract, the other piece of this around attracting an unavailable man is this resistance that you're having to wanting to be your mom. Like, you don't want a man to rule you. You don't want a man to make decisions for you. You want to be your own woman, right?
That's correct.
So there's a part of you that's kind of attracting these people that aren't going to ultimately work out because you want your freedom, right? And so these two things are very much at odds. They're at odds. So the first thing I want you to do, the love work that I'm going to give you, is to talk to your mom. Okay. And one conversation can change everything, just so you know, right? So what I want you to start to see is asking her questions about how she also made decisions in the home, but that maybe you didn't see them. or that she would say things to your dad at night and then he would make a choice the next day? Or how did she actually make choices in the home? Okay, and the way you want to start that off is, I'm noticing that, you know, I'm not where I want to be with my love life. I want to fall in love. And a part of it is my translation. So you're just owning everything. Part of this is my translation of how you and dad have functioned, and I respect both of you, but some of that is that. So I have some questions. And then ask her about that. And then if she says, well, no, I didn't really make a lot of decisions, you know, I just followed dad, then what I want you to go into is just asking her about her childhood.
Okay.
So was her dad like your dad? Was her mom like your dad? Like why does she just let other people make choices for her? And get to the root of that. Be really curious and get to the root of why others make choices for her. Okay, by asking her about her childhood and asking her questions about that, so that you get an understanding that she is who she is because there's a lot there. There's a lot of reasons. And it just starts to broaden your perspective of love. Okay? And all of a sudden you will also, what you're resisting starts to diminish. And it won't keep going on for you.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, so that's a big part of it.
Right.
Okay, so how does it feel? Will you do that love work?
Yes.
Yeah. And does it feel easy for you to have that conversation with your mom? Hard?
I feel that it's hard to accept the answer that probably come out from this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would hurt me a little bit. I don't think she made a lot of her own decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that accepting her answer would be the toughest.
Yeah, because you just feel like she probably didn't make those. That's why I said if she didn't, then ask her about her childhood. So you start to understand where this is coming from. And maybe the last question I will give you around this is, you know, did she feel like she was free in the relationship?
Okay.
You know, and just even getting those perspectives is going to change something for you. So even though you're afraid of the answer, it's going to shift and change something for you. So ask her those questions, and then you'll start to see that the understanding part of you that's just letting men lead will start to diminish. It will just naturally diminish. So have these conversations with her, and then I'd love to hear how it goes afterwards for you and what happens. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you, Kavita.
You're welcome. And so for you guys, your love work is really to tell us, what did you get out of our conversation? What was your nugget that you took away for your life? And what did you learn from this this chat that we had today? And if you loved what you saw today, then I want you to subscribe to the YouTube video and and subscribe, and you will receive more videos like this where you can have your own love breakthrough while the people that I'm coaching are also having their love breakthrough. So I can't wait to see all of your comments, and I'll see you next time on the next KavitaTV episode.
Thank you, Kavita. I feel like it's already something shifted.
Yeah, what are you feeling has shifted?
It's hard to pinpoint, but I feel something, and I feel like something is going to change.
Yeah, because I think it's just even nice to see where this is coming from for you, right? Like you can start to see the answer and see the connect the dots, so you don't feel like you're so, like almost like we think we're crazy sometimes, right? And so I think just noticing, right? Noticing this helps.
It's true. Yeah, just having this conversation with you, Kavita, it's already like you gave me something like different, you know. So I feel like my brain like pattern like changed a little bit. Yeah. So I hope something different
definitely
will happen.
It will, because already your mindset is shifting. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kavita.
Yeah.